The fourth lesson in this unit is ways to save. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify ways to save, and you'll be able to explain the effect of compound interest. So research has shown that people spend less if they use new money, less likely to spend brand new crisp dollar bills, have higher denominations. People are reluctant to spend bills in higher denominations, are not too relaxed. People overspend by 15% when they feel extremely relaxed. Today, we're going to learn more strategies to save money that will have a big impact on your life. So how to start saving. Everyone is different and has different needs. Ultimately, you'll be investing, saving, paying down debt, and spending your money. For this portion, we are still only discussing saving. Start saving somewhere with some amount, and you can always improve from there. Start now. The earlier you start, the less you'll need to save. Save as much and as often as you can. Saving a little is better than saving nothing. Start with the basics. You want to open a checking account and a savings account. Ideally, at the same institution. It's easier to transact back and forth and look for no fees, competitive interest rate, and good features. Keep an appropriate amount in your checking account. At a minimum, enough to pay monthly bills until replenished by your next paycheck. Potentially set up overdraft protection using your checking account or credit card if offered free of charge, so you don't accidentally bounce a check or a withdrawal. 3 things you need to know about emergency fund from Fidelity.
Life is full of surprises, but you can be better prepared to handle them by building an emergency fund. Think of it as your financial safety net, a reliable source of money when you need it, so you don't have to resort to credit cards and loans. It's part of any good financial plan. Here are 3 things to know about an emergency fund. 1. How much to save. We suggest saving at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses. It may take time to get there, and that's okay. The important thing is to start today with what you can afford, and then build your way up to 5% of your paycheck. A helpful tip is to take advantage of automatic deposits, which help you put away a little bit each pay period without even thinking about it. 2. Where to keep your money. To avoid the temptation of tapping into your emergency fund for day-to-day expenses, we suggest keeping your money in a separate account. Consider a savings or money market account, so you have an easy way to access your cash when you need it, while you earn some interest in the meantime. 3. What to use it for. Only use your emergency fund for true emergencies, like health expenses, critical home and auto repairs, or paying essential expenses after a job loss. If you do have an emergency, be sure to replenish the money you use, so it will be there for next time. Life happens, but an emergency fund can help you weather the unexpected and turn a potential financial catastrophe into an inconvenience. Together, we can help you build a strong financial foundation, so you're more prepared to face life's unknowns.
So the emergency fund, there's a rule. The rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months of your fixed expenses. That's how much you should have saved. Make it higher if you're self-employed or your job security is minimal, or no other partially liquid funds like a Roth IRA, contributions, loanable home equity, or 401k loan provision if you don't have that. But the rule of thumb, like, where did this number come from? Average long-term disability starting period Average time to find a new job if unemployed. You make it higher if you're self-employed or job security is minimal. And like we said with the Roth IRAs, you minimally insure your health, life, disability, and or property. Deductibles on your insurance are high. So for example, if your monthly fixed expenses are $2,000, you should have a minimum of $6,000 in your emergency fund. So here's some saving strategies. Use separate different institutions. Some spend their savings too easily if they're able to transfer it easily to their checking account and prefer to have their savings account at a separate institution so it feels like it is less accessible. Others might want a local institution for their checking account, but prefer an online institution with a higher savings interest rate and then link the two accounts for transfers. Use multiple accounts. Some prefer multiple accounts for different buckets of money. A second or third savings account for a future vacation or college expenses, a separate checking account for a side business, and so on. Some more saving strategies. Pay yourself first. Have a portion of your paycheck direct deposited into savings. The remainder of your paycheck goes to checking to pay bills. What about CDs? CDs might be appropriate if you have a proper amount in your checking account. Emergency fund is built up and you have additional savings that's earmarked for future use and could be tied up in a CD. But you'll lose the short-term liquidity of it for a higher interest rate. Save early for retirement. 3 friends have the same amount, $120,000 over 10 years at the same rate, but start at different times in their life. Michael saves $1,000 per month from age 25 to 35. He left his money in the account at 7% interest until age 65. Jennifer saves $1,000 per month from age 35 to 45, left the money in the account at 7% interest until age 65. Sam saves $1,000 per month from age 45 to 55, left the money in the account 7% interest until 65. Which one has the most money at age 65? Let's go ahead and click here. And you can use the calculator to help you find that answer. But right here it explains that this is what the power of compound interest. All saved the same amount of money during a 10-year time span at the same interest rate, but Michael has $1,444,969. Jennifer has $734,549, and Sam has $373,407. Very different results, okay? So what's compound interest? Using the same investment amount, $10,000, and an interest rate of 8%. So how compound interest earns more money at time as time increases, because the interest is calculated on the balance rather than the principal. Okay, so simple interest is right here, $800 interest. So the next year it's based off of this. Compound interest is using that you're making money off the interest as well, not just off of the money that you have in the account. So the moral of the story is save early and save often. Keep it simple. Do what works for you. It may take time to develop your best strategy, and your strategy may change over time. Make your money work for you. Save early and often. Keep it simple when starting to save. Make your money work for you by starting earlier in your career and saving often. So the assignment for this unit is going to be create a PowerPoint or a Google slideshow that shows at least 5 different ways for high school students to save. Use the information from lesson 4.4 or research other ideas on the internet. So you can use this PowerPoint to help you. And I can tell you from a personal perspective, I do have a savings account and a checking account at Bellevue State Bank. And that is nice. If I'm running low in my checking account, I can transfer the money from my savings into my checking, but I always make sure, or I try to anyway, make a scheduled transfer so that that money that I took out of my savings and put into my checking, that when I do get paid, that money comes out of my checking and back into my savings. And then in addition to that, I have money taken out of my checking account every month. It's an automatic withdrawal that goes into my savings account from my checking account because my check is deposited directly into my bank account. So, and then we have some investments also that are more long-term, and they come directly out of my paycheck every month too. So if you have options like that available to you, then it's harder to spend that money when it's automatically being put into the savings account. So go ahead and complete the assignment.